Nothing like a good old glass of milk to heal broken bones and teeth and all that shit. This chapter of One Piece, so it was definitely mainly an exposition chapter. We got a bit of setup. I'd argue the biggest piece of progression we got is that Luffy finally went to the meeting so he can speak with Capone and they can figure all this out of how they're gonna plan this attack, although Capone pretty much already seemingly has everything on point. But this chapter of One Piece, it definitely was that. It was just mainly, you know, setup or whatever, but there was a couple of pieces of information that we did get from it. And honestly, let's talk real quickly because it seems to be the talk of the town regarding the milk that they drank healing Luffy's tooth as well as Brook's skull. And honestly, it's like, on one hand, yeah, you could definitely see it was done with comedic intent. It was kind of like, oh, it's funny, which I can imagine in Japan, One Piece will have some sort of milk endorsement, like drink milk and you'll be just as strong as Luffy, or yeah, you'll be the king of all milk drinkers, something crazy like that, which they will do because One Piece is merchandise insanity over there. So there's that. But also, I guess if you think about it, because there's been certain cases where other characters, I think Usopp, if I'm not mistaken, has had his teeth busted up. Maybe this could explain it. Maybe in the One Piece world, drinking milk actually grows bones back and does things of that nature. It's a little bit bizarre, to be honest with you, but hey, it's fucking milk. I guess that kind of explains things, or it could just be breaking the fourth wall in that regard. I mean, either way, it's a little bit silly nonetheless, like, oh shit, you know, drinking a cup of milk. But either way, it's like, I guess that's the explanation we have for how do you heal bones in this. Although, why hasn't Blackbeard drank some milk yet? I'm just saying, Blackbeard, yo, a cup of milk will do you some justice. I think this chapter opened up trying to emphasize, yeah, the tea party's almost about to happen, everything's about to go down, it's really close because Big Mom's chef is almost complete with the cake, so things is moving accordingly. And I mean, it was alright. I didn't really particularly care, like, oh hey, this is the head chef, but seemingly it was supposed to emphasize, yeah, things is moving, time is passing, it's not completely at a standstill, although it is moving at a very sluggish pace regarding like, oh okay, so this chapter we passed about an hour and the next chapter will pass about an hour. Like, hopefully the next chapter or two at the most will really just, okay, we're getting there now, because Sanji has to leave. He even said in this chapter, I believe, 2 hours prior to things going down, so it's about an hour and some change left after the end of this chapter that Sanji has to leave. So maybe at the end of next chapter Sanji will leave so he could prep for the wedding and things like that. So we have progression. It's just kind of like, hey, let's look at Big Mom's cook, why not? I really look at Peckham's like, I understand you, like, this dude is very loyal, and that's one thing. Like, Peckham's is a loyal dude. Personally, I like Pedro more because everything that Pedro's been through, and Peckham's been through some shit as well, but like, when I look at the two characters, I'm thinking like, yo, Pedro, he's ready to die for his, and Peckham's too, but I don't know, that's just maybe my personal preference between the two characters. I like Pedro a bit more than Peckham's, but he's loyal to a fault at this point, because after everything, and you know, Big Mom, she's a nasty piece of shit, he's still worried about Big Mom and what Capone's trying to do to her. So I'm looking at Peckham's like, you're too loyal, bro. Like, Peckham's, you're way too fucking loyal to Big Mom that will throw you in the ditch dead for, you know, a piece of fucking strawberry pie or some shit, you know what I'm saying? So Peckham's a little too loyal there. And I mean, right now, what is he gonna do though, as far as like Jinbei's crew got that motherfucker down packed? You ain't going nowhere, bro. Like, you ain't snitching shit, which, I mean, Peckham's, I guess, yeah, his loyalty is too ridiculous, because even if they told him the plan and told what Luffy's about to do, he will probably bug out and try to fight all of them. So they need to keep him down as much as possible, because Peckham's, he's too loyal to Big Mom. He wouldn't go along with Jinbei and all of them. He would just be like, yo, I need to hurry up back to Mama. And then we got the arrival of Luffy and Sanji, and everybody's pretty much there. It was kind of funny seeing Chopper with a different look and everybody getting all clothed up and, you know, bathed up and nice and purdy for this big meeting with Capone. Like, I like that shit about Capone, down to the detail. He wants his business associates, anybody that he's doing work with, like, yo, you come to me with some good appearance or don't come to me at all. It's really emphasizing his characterization of being some true mafioso boss. Like, don't come to me in rags, bro. Like, what are you doing? Come to me with respect. Put some respect on my name. And it looks as though Luffy in this chapter in particular, he was kind of taking a page out of the movie Strong World, if I'm not mistaken. He had a very similar attire there, and also the hat that he had on. It looks like he had a hat on top of a hat. Kind of weird, but it definitely gave me Strong World vibes with the suits and everything, getting ready for a big meeting with Capone. And it's nice that really, like, even this chapter yet again showcases Luffy, he's grown a bit. He still is kind of idiotic, and you can still fool him a bit here or there, like in the chapter, but like for Luffy to say, hey, aren't you Caesar, immediately, like, that made me think like, he's grown a bit. He might have got tricked afterward where he said, no, I'm Gangsta Gastino, which that shit still has me roll. I'm not gonna lie. Gangsta Gastino with the hair, and I'm like, who you fooling? See, it's like even Luffy, the biggest idiot, can catch you off guard and be like, oh yeah, no, you are. And then of course he got a little bit tricked because he's still naive, he's still Luffy, but it shows very small instances like that of Luffy's character progression, his character development. He's not as dumb as, you know, the very beginning of the manga, part 1 of the manga, you know, before the time skip, or shall I say, before New World. Like, it shows he's developed a bit, he's a little bit smarter. Those small but very good instances are great for Luffy's character. And then we got a lot of talk with Nami and Big Mom's daughter, the one that looks just like Lola, and I'm thinking to myself like, oh, you look too much like her. And it is fucked up, and I kind of enjoyed hearing about her backstory in a way, because it's kind of sad and tragic that Big Mom took out all her aggression on her. And we also got a little bit more insight as well into Big Mom's gripe with the Giants and what happened and her strained relationship with them. And it also explains, and I love that Oda ties everything together, what was going on in Punk Hazard with the giant babies that Caesar was creating. Basically, it all goes back to her whole gripe with the Elbaf Giants, the fact that they're not cool. So she said, fuck them giants, I'll make my own giants, because she wants to have one of every type of creature at the very least, or just every type of creature in general on Thoughtland. And yeah, we're gonna call it Thoughtland because Big Mom is a thought and a half, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have 90 children. Anyway, the fact being is that we got a little bit more information on that, and also again developing, which I think Lola's sister, Big Mom's daughter, is going to be somewhat of a pretty big character. I don't know if Capone will do, because I could imagine Capone, he looks like he doesn't really give a fuck. He only fucked this bitch and had a baby with her just so that he can move things and put things in motion to get into Big Mom's, you know, not pants. He's not trying to get into her pants to basically fuck Big Mom over. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's still more tragedy in her future, because she seems as though she's going along with Capone and she has the kid and this is what she's betting her future on. But Capone probably doesn't give a fuck about her either, and he'll kill her in an instant and maybe, you know, just care about his kid. But he probably doesn't care about her because it's Capone. He's a gangster. He's a bloodthirsty animal. And I guess that also helps to solidify why Big Mom's children are the way they are and how they're quick to flip, because she's a piece of shit. I mean, we've seen already earlier on in this arc of how maniac-esque she is, where she killed her son and goes on a rampage and shit like that. So she don't really give a fuck about them. Why should they care about her? Which once again makes me think about Pudding. It's like, Pudding, she's not going to be that devoted when Big Mom will kill her in an instant for whatever the case may be. Like, yo, you ate the last cream cheese packet. Like, I'm going to kill you. Like, so that's also going into the fact of why Pudding would not give a fuck about Big Mom at all. It's the fact that, like, look at her. She's a fucking asshole. And I like that Luffy continued on regarding the whole conversation with Capone of like, yo, we'll work together. Let me just punch you first real quick. That was great in keeping Luffy's character intact. I mean, as a whole, the chapter, again, it was mainly set up, and the biggest piece of progression, like I said earlier, was just the fact, okay, we had the meeting, we're gonna work together now, but we need to hear Capone's full-on plan of how he's planning on doing things. So in that regard, it's like, okay, we got a bit of progression, but aside from that, the chapter was mainly just a lot of exposition. Some of it was good, some of it a little bit like, okay, we get it. You know, Lola's sister kind of got fucked over for Lola leaving, and she was tortured and beat up all the time by Big Mom because of Big Mom's anger. I think one of the most interesting things we got out of the chapter as well was the explanation of the what happened with the Elbaf Giants and why Big Mom is so pissed. So there was some good stuff in there, but as a whole, it was kind of like, yeah, I definitely want to get to the tea party soon, and it was a little bit sluggish there, so it wasn't the best chapter in the world. I'd say a good 6 to a 6.5 out of 10. We got progression, and we got some explanations even further about, you know, just things that are great, like, you know, when you connect things from Punk Hazard to this arc and Big Mom's character and everything. I love when Oda does that, so good shit there, but it was a fine chapter. I just really want to start getting things in motion for the tea party. And Gangsta Gastino, who you fooling? Caesar, even Luffy, like, stop. But I'm kind of curious you guys' opinions on this chapter. First of all, what do you think about the pacing? Also, what do you think about the controversy regarding Luffy healing a tooth in Brook's forehead with drinking milk? Do you think that's actually a legit thing in One Piece? You can heal bones by drinking milk? Was that some special milk in general? Or was it just a gag thing breaking the fourth wall of like, yeah, milk does the body good? Also, what do you think about Capone's wife, or, you know, Lola's sister, her having all that fucking beatings and years after years of torture from Big Mom? Do you think that's that's a legit reason. I mean, obviously, I would turn the fuck on my mom if she was doing some shit like that to me. Hells yeah, I'd turn on her in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? So, kind of justified there. And your thoughts on what's going to go down with Capone and Luffy's partnership and shit like that. Obviously, it's not going to go smooth sailing. I think Big Mom is too smart to get completely upstaged by Capone, but it's just a matter of how things are going to play out. I wouldn't be surprised if Sanji still has something to worry about. If Big Mom catches wind of all this, especially the fact that Peckham's is MIA, and also real quickly throw in, do you think Peckham's would immediately sell them out like if he got out of there? I think that's why they're not trusting him with this, because he's too loyal to Big Mom. And your overall thoughts of the chapter, again, 6.5 out of 10. Fine chapter. Can't wait for shit to really kick off here soon. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.